welcome to my channel, Worldwise. I bet you didn't know just how fierce the race for the heavens really was. In the mid-20th century, the United States and the Soviet Union turned their eyes skyward. Locked in the Cold War, their rivalry extended into space. The Soviets launched Sputnik, then sent the first human, Yuri Gagarin, into orbit. The US answered with Project Mercury and set its sights on the moon. President Kennedy promised a moon landing before the decade's end, but the Soviets looked to Venus, the mysterious morning star. Their quest to reach Venus would become a legendary chapter in space exploration. Why did the Soviets choose Venus? Partly, it was strategy. With America focused on the moon, Venus offered a new arena for Soviet firsts, flybys, impacts, landings. These victories would keep the Soviet program in the global spotlight. Venus was also a practical target. Launch windows were more frequent, and the journey was shorter than to Mars. Shorter trips meant fewer chances for failure, a crucial factor with unproven technology. There was also a cultural connection. Russian scientist Mikhail Lomonosov discovered Venus's atmosphere in 1761, giving the planet special significance. Exploring Venus became a matter of national pride and scientific legacy. The Soviets weren't just chasing headlines, they were continuing a tradition of discovery. By choosing Venus, they carved out their own path in the solar system. While America aimed for the moon, the Soviets set out to unveil the mysteries beneath Venus's clouds. It was a bold, ambitious quest, one that would soon reveal a world stranger than anyone imagined. The choice of Venus was a gamble, but it was one the Soviets were determined to win. They would soon discover that Venus was no paradise. The reality would be far more challenging and far more fascinating. Before the first probes, Venus was a canvas for our imagination. Its thick clouds hid the surface, fueling wild speculation. Many believed Venus was a lush tropical world, Earth's twin, teeming with life. Some pictured vast oceans, others imagined steamy jungles or even dinosaurs. Even scientists thought the clouds might be water vapor, hinting at a warm, wet climate. The truth was a mystery, and the only way to solve it was to go there. The first missions weren't just about science, they were about unveiling the unknown. What lay beneath the clouds? The answer would shock the world. The dream of a paradise was about to be shattered. The Soviets' first attempts to reach Venus were plagued by failure. Venera 1, launched in 1961, lost contact en route, a silent pioneer drifting past its target. Subsequent missions in 1962 failed to escape Earth's orbit, their true purpose hidden behind code names. Each setback was a blow, but also a lesson. The technology was new, the challenges immense, unreliable rockets, fragile electronics, and the vastness of space. Soviet engineers worked in secrecy, learning from each failure and redesigning their probes. Political pressure was intense, but so was their determination. They improved their spacecraft, strengthened communications, and refined navigation. The secrecy allowed them to fail quietly and try again. Persistence became their greatest asset. Despite the losses, they pressed on, convinced that success was possible. Each attempt brought them closer to their goal. The journey to Venus was a test of endurance and ingenuity. The Soviets would not give up. They were determined to be the first to conquer the morning star, and eventually, one of their probes would break through. The path was littered with failures, but the dream remained alive. Venus was within reach. In 1967, Venera 4 became the first probe to enter Venus's atmosphere, sending back data as it descended. The results were shocking: temperatures and pressures far beyond expectations, and an atmosphere thick with carbon dioxide. The probe was crushed before reaching the surface. Venera 5 and 6 followed, reinforced but still overwhelmed by the planet's crushing air. The message was clear. Venus was far more hostile than anyone had imagined. The Soviets responded with Venera 7, built like a tank to survive the inferno. In December 1970, it crash-landed, but managed to transmit data from the surface for 23 minutes, the first time any probe had done so on another planet. It was a historic achievement, humanity's first direct contact with another world's surface. The Soviets had claimed a new first in the space race, but the data revealed a nightmare. Venus was a furnace, not a paradise. The challenge was greater than ever, yet the Soviets pressed on, determined to unlock more secrets. Each mission brought new insights and new obstacles. The conquest of Venus had only just begun. The world was watching. The Venera landers revealed Venus as a true hellscape. Surface temperatures soared to 475 degree marks, hot enough to melt lead. The pressure was over 90 times that of Earth, like being a kilometer underwater. Early probes were crushed before landing, victims of the planet's crushing atmosphere. The clouds, once thought to be water, were actually sulfuric acid. Any spacecraft had to survive acid rain, searing heat, and immense pressure. Winds in the upper atmosphere howled at over 300 kilometers per hour. Surviving even minutes on the surface was a triumph of engineering. The Venera landers were deep-sea submersibles, refrigerators, and chemical fortresses all in one. Their brief transmissions were hard-won victories against impossible odds. Venus had revealed its true face, and it was terrifying. After measuring the environment, the next challenge was to see Venus. Venera 9, in 1975, carried the first camera to the surface. Taking a photo on Venus was a feet-dim light, crushing heat, and a lens cap that had to pop off after landing. Against all odds, Venera 9 succeeded, sending back the first image from another planet's surface, a field of jagged rocks under a hazy sky. Venera 10 soon followed with another panorama. The world was mesmerized by these alien vistas. Later, Venera 13 and 14 brought color cameras and soil analyzers. Venera 13's images revealed an orange-brown landscape beneath a yellow sky, a haunting, beautiful wasteland. But Venera 14's soil test was foiled when its lens cap landed under the probe's arm, leading it to analyze its own hardware instead of Venusian soil. It was a moment of cosmic irony, a tiny mistake on a distant world. Still, the images and data were groundbreaking. For the first time, humanity saw the surface of another planet. The dream of exploration had become reality. The Venera missions had opened a window to a world no one had ever seen. Venus was no longer just a mystery. It was a place. The later Venera missions mapped Venus with radar, revealing a world of volcanoes, plains, and strange circular features. These maps transformed our understanding of Venusian geology. The planet was active, but in ways unlike Earth, no plate tectonics, but massive volcanic resurfacing. The Venera program built a complete picture of Venus from its acid clouds to its fiery rocks. The greatest lesson was a warning. Venus is a case study in runaway greenhouse effect. Studying why Venus became a furnace while Earth thrived is vital for understanding our own climate. The Venera data remains our only ground truth from this extreme world. The program ended in the 1980s. No one has landed on Venus since. The challenge and cost are immense, but the legacy endures. Venera was born of rivalry, but it produced science that changed our view of the solar system. It took us from ignorance to understanding, from dreams to reality. The Soviet journey to Venus stands as one of humanity's greatest explorations, even if the destination was hell itself. My next video is up. Watch it now.